Good afternoon and welcome to Get Arrow, Get Secure. Mike Blanchard-Forty, who normally hosts the show, is on a walkthrough for a bid today in Columbia College in New York City. What does that mean, a walkthrough for a bid? Mike is our college vertical expert. Mike was the former director of security at Dowling College. And Mike has expertise in colleges and universities and is there to lead our team today in the walkthrough for the potential bid for this business. Arrow Security does a number of colleges and universities, so this is right within our wheelhouse, and I'm glad to be here today hosting the show in his behalf. It gives me an opportunity to tell you about some of the things going on here at Arrow. A lot of people ask me what's new at Arrow. My response is what's not new at Arrow. Let's start with our new logo. Let's start with our new vehicles. Let's start with our brand new building here in Smithtown on 300 West Main Street, and I invite any of the viewers to come in at any time and come on in. Let's start with our new website. Bold, brilliant design colors and services for our expanding services, our new investigative services, and yes, I'm a licensed private investigator, one of a number of licensed private investigators on staff, and we do a number of investigative contracts, not just here in New York, but around the nation. They asked me what else is new at Arrow. How about the states that we're in? We're in New England, so anywhere up in the Northeast, think maple trees and syrup, and we cover that area, Vermont, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. We're doing that. Arrow is in New Jersey. We just opened up, I can't give you the name, but a major retailer in the U.S. just opened its corporate headquarters there, and Arrow Security was pleased to help with the transition and continues to do so. Arrow Security is new to Ohio. We do Dayton, Columbus, and anything within a 300-mile radius of that area. Arrow is in New Mexico. We just were down there for a site visit for the Roswell Airport, and our team got to see Area 51, spooky as it is, to find out about aliens as we bid on one of the government's airports. And yes, Arrow Security does airport work as well too. We did right here in MacArthur Airport. I am a licensed CIDA issuing officer for JFK, and Arrow has a great expertise in airport work, and I'm a former operations director for JetBlue Security. Arrow's in Florida. Arrow was most pleased to win a contract down there for the Bureau of Prisons in FCI Tallahassee. We're going to be doing low custody prison transport for them, and I am our prison and jail expert in that vertical. I was a former warden from New York City Department of Corrections, and I presently train new wardens for the Department of Justice, and my next session is April 10th out at the National Training Academy in Aurora, Colorado. And when I go to Colorado, we have an office in Colorado run by Mike Brown, the former Undersecretary of FEMA, and headed by our manager in that area, Leo Runnels. Great guy who's tacking on new business and new clients around that great state. Arrow Security is getting into Ontario. After this cold winter here in New York, we may want to reconsider that, but no, we won't. We're going to forge ahead in Ontario and work with the Mounties up there because we have a great partner that wants to come on board in that region, and there's a lot of business and they're knocking on our door. Arrow Security is closing on Virginia. Virginia is important to our national growth because it's where Virginia, D.C., Maryland is where the government does business. That's the country seat. So we want to jump on board with the country seat and jump on with them. So when someone asks you what's new at Arrow, you tell them what's not new at Arrow. We just purchased a brand new vehicle wrapping machine. And with that machine, we got our first vehicle out to New York City. We just won the alarm response contract for New York City. We have done it out here in Nassau and Suffolk for years for Tyco ADT, and because we did such a fantastic job, they granted us with the privilege and prestige of doing it for New York City. And our first vehicle that we wrapped is out there with the cityscape, city buildings, New York City landscape, right on the car and wrapped all over the car, so we're excited about that. A lot of people, they know a lot of great things about Arrow, but they say, hey, listen, Pete, you're in the security world, you teach crime prevention at a local college, what can we do to help tighten up security on our end? And the number one thing I say is just be aware. Try to understand what's going on and report it to somebody who may or may not, you know, do something to keep escalating it up. I spent 25 years in jail on the good side, and I got to see a lot of criminal habits. And criminals look for the easy mark, the easy target. One of the things when my daughter was going to college, one of the things I trained her when she got into a cab was to make sure she got the medallion number from the top of the cab, text that to me before she got in, and make sure that the cab driver knows that she got the medallion number and text it to her dad, who's a law enforcement professional. So to make sure, a little more insurance to make sure the target gets from point A to point B. When you check out of a hotel, I just recently went to Atlantic City this weekend, and my daughter, who had a room, and my wife said, what are we going to do with the room keys that they gave us when we're checking out? There's no requirement for you to turn in the room keys. There's a requirement for you to check out. You can do that through your TV, or you can do it at the counter. But don't give the cards in, because the cards have your information on it. Besides your name and credit card information, they have your address. And these are things that somebody, if somebody is not vetted at the front desk and they get your cards back, they can swipe that, get the information, and pass along to one of their criminal cohorts that could present a security challenge. Not saying this is happening everywhere, but it's just one of the few things that you could do to make yourself less of a target for computer theft. You should take the card home, crack it in half, bend it in half, discard it in your garbage can. It'll be unusable, and it won't be able to connect you with the hotel. One of the other things that we learned recently about a scam is the garage door, overhead garage door openers. There's a cord on the inside that you can pull to release the mechanism, and the door just slides up. Well, the bad guys have found out that this can be done too, and what they're doing is putting, sliding a little block of wood on the outside of the garage door to permit them to move back the weather stripping and slide a hanger in. Once they slide a hanger in, and especially with a door that has a little glass in it, they can use the hook of the hanger to pull down on the emergency cord, release the mechanism, and slide the garage door up. So now I know what you're saying. Well, I still have an alarm on my house. They won't be able to get through there. There's two ways they can get in through there. One is that what I've seen in a house recently is they can bust through the sheetrock without even opening the door and get into the house without even opening the door, because the sheetrock is just too thin sheets that are easy to crack through. They could also go through the door, and that'll set the alarm off. The police will respond. They'll see the house is secure, the garage door is shut, the front door is locked, there's no broken windows, the homeowner's not home, and they'll leave. As soon as they leave, the person that's outside the house playing watch calls the person inside the house. If the cops have left, they clean out the house and leave out the door. So what can you do? On the locking mechanism, you can put a plastic zip tie that closes down the mechanism to the top of the garage. If they try to pull the hook down, the hanger isn't strong enough to break that plastic tie. But if you needed the cord in emergency, you could pull it down, and your strength directly underhead would be enough to pull that cord. What else can you do? Lighting around your house. I walk around a lot of houses that have landscaping that is just begging to permit the homeowner to be a victim of crime. Landscaping should be trimmed back so you take advantage of what's called natural surveillance. People walking past or driving past your house that can see your windows and doors from that. And I'm not suggesting that you totally eradicate your landscaping. What I am suggesting is that you take advantage of natural surveillance when possible, and try to trim back your landscaping that's probably overgrown anyway, so you can get a good visual, and your neighbors and passerbys can get a good visual of your property. It's going to make it a lot more difficult for crooks to come in and do this without people seeing them. One of the other things you can do is take a look at your lighting, especially through the winter. Some light bulbs are outside your house, or maybe there's places where you need light or motion detectors. Lighting is an enemy of the crook, so it's good to have good lighting around your house. It's going to, again, take advantage of natural surveillance. Your neighbors can look over their fences in the yards and see this light, and the crook is not going to want to go in clear light, and the light's also going to be able to permit your cameras to work better if you have them, or somebody has a camera to see what's going on. What burglars may even do is come and unscrew a light bulb and see how long it takes you to fix it. If it's not repaired, they'll come back and hit that door where the light bulb was a day or two later. Recently, one of our commercial clients had the cords cut to their outside lights. They thought it was maybe just an accident with the landscape or something like that, and they called us and said, hey, listen, the light's going to be out for a couple of hours. I said, oh, wait a second, what happened? And they told me it was cut here. I said, who cut it? They didn't know for sure. That was most certainly, especially at this retailer that has high-end property, an attempt for someone to come back later and take advantage of the light. We made sure that it was fixed on the site and probably saved the client a significant threat at theft at their property. Computer security. An ironic story about one of my friends that runs security for a major bank here in New York. And what he did was do some IT training for his entire team. And then after the IT training and IT security course was done, a week later, he hired a company that specializes in infiltrating company security systems and try to get information from their people. And just a week after the class, he was surprised to learn that 8 out of 10 of his employees failed the integrity test, and they gave out information such as what virus software the company uses. They gave out information on account numbers. They gave out or responded to malicious emails, and thank goodness they weren't real viruses, but clicked on what could have been introduced viruses. And the way they did it, there's a number of different ways they did it, and we don't have enough time on the show for that. But the takeaway for you guys, for the laypersons, is not to open emails from people that you don't know. If the email looks suspicious, if it sounds like the subject or the title is not something that might come from that person, call that person before you open it and see what it says. Don't click on things for free services, for software, for add-ons, for this or that, because in a lot of cases, and this is becoming more prevalent, these types of things are viruses. And once your computer is affected, it's difficult, if not possible, to totally eradicate itself from the damage that was done. So I hope you enjoyed this segment of Get Arrow, Get Secure. I know in no ways I'm a replacement for the fantastic, the wonderful Mike Blanchard 40, but I hope that I educated you a little bit today about some of the fun things and new things going on at Arrow and some of the ways to protect yourself in the world of security. Thanks for coming out, and Get Arrow, Get Secure.